What is up, you guys? Wonderbro here. Today we are going to talk about how to win the unwinnable game of anxiety and OCD. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to jump straight into an example here. What do most people, right? Most people without anxiety disorder, OCD, whatever you want to call it, what do most people do when they get an intrusive thought or they get a feeling, right? Even if that's an uncomfortable feeling, even if that's a disturbing intrusive thought, a very scary intrusive thought, most people are going to look at these things for a brief second and they're going to say, okay, nothing I can do about it, right? They're going to look at that thought, for example, and they're going to say, well, that's an interesting thought. That was somewhat of a disturbing thought, but okay. And they're going to go right back to what they were doing, right? They're not going to get stuck on these things. And that's what's happening when people have anxiety disorder. That's what's happening when people become sensitized. They get stuck on these things as they come and as they go. And due to being stuck on it, not leaving it alone, fighting with it, ruminating about it, they increase their anxiety. They increase their anxiety to a point of sensitization, a tired nervous system, a broken down nervous system, which in turn gives them even more anxiety, even more intrusive thoughts, and they do it all over again. They don't break the cycle, right? That's the problem. You're not breaking the cycle. You are trying to win an unwinnable game. And the reason it's an unwinnable game is simple. The more you interact with a thought, right? The more you follow a thought, you could say, all right? The more you ruminate about a thought, the more you think about a thought that you just had 2 hours ago, the more these thoughts come, the higher your anxiety goes. And again, the higher your anxiety goes, the more of these kind of thoughts are going to show up. So you can't win this game, no matter how much you think you can think your way out of anxiety, or no matter how much you believe that you can fight with a thought enough to get it to go away. It's just not going to happen, right? It's going to cause more anxiety, which is going to cause more symptoms, more intrusives. It's a never ending cycle. So the only way to win this unwinnable game against your mind is to stop playing. Puppy says hello. The only way to win this unwinnable game against your mind is to stop playing. You can't win playing the game. It's an unwinnable game. What does that look like? We've said it for years, right? A thought comes in. You notice that thought. It's disturbing, it's scary, it's upsetting. You really want to get to the bottom of it. It's very tempting. One of the most tempting things to do, right, is to follow that thought. But you got to have enough self-control and enough self-awareness to look at the thought and say, hey, I see you there, right? But I'm not following you. I'm not going where you want to take me. That is your objective. You cannot log into hours worth of rumination. You can't start thinking harder about that thought. You can't sit there and go back and forth with that thought. That won't happen because this. What if it did happen? Oh God, if it did happen, I could do this, or I could do that, or whatever your rumination looks like, it's got to go. So in that moment, you notice the thought coming up. You look at it, and it may come with a lot of feelings too, just because of your tired nervous system. But you look at it and you say, okay, okay, that's it. Okay, I'm not going there, right? I'm not going to log into hours worth of rumination because that thought wants to be there. And the more you just look at it and say, okay, I'm not going there, and you just go back to what you were doing, right? The less likely it is that that thought's going to stick around, right? It'll change, it'll go to something else, and you'll have to do this process again. But the less likely that thought is going to stick around if you have enough self control and self awareness to look at that thought while it's happening, while it's in the moment, and say, I'm not moving. I'm not going where you want to take me, right? I'm not going to purchase the ticket for that ride. I'm not going to open the door to that. You can be there, but I'm not doing it. And you may have to remind yourself of that a lot, and that's fine, right? Come in, remind yourself, hey, that thought's there. It's whatever. Especially if you start ruminating, you got to come in, hey, I'm worrying about that again. Whatever, just leave that thought alone. Go back to what you were doing, right? Just let it hover, let it hang out, go back to what you were doing. That is the only way to win this unwinnable game, by not playing, right? By not playing. My light went out on me there. 1 second. Okay. The only way to win this unwinnable game is to simply not play. You've been playing for many years. You've been trying to figure it all out for many years. You've been following every thought where it wants to take you for many years. Your thoughts will still come. Your feelings will still come. But you have to look at these thoughts and say, I'm not moving. I'm not going to start a bunch of mental storytelling. I'm not going to start visualizing things and seeing where you want to take me. The thought is basically over there like, come on, come on, come on. And you have to say no. You have to say no. You can be there. You can be over there like this. Come on, come on. But I'm not following you, right? That's what you have to say to your thoughts. The more rumination you do, the worse you feel. And that's why so many people are in the cycle and they're like, where am I going wrong? What's going on? I'm living my life. You tell me to live my life, right? One of my keys, but I still feel bad. You're still ruminating, right? And some people are on the side of the fence of, well, what if I just try to accept that rumination? You don't accept rumination. It's a compulsion, right? Having a thought is out of your control. That's in your head. Having a feeling is out of your control. But when you log into analytical thinking and you start following that thought where it wants to take you instead of just looking at it and saying, I'm not going there, right? That is a compulsion. We don't accept compulsions. So understand, I get you're trying every technique in the book to feel better. I get you're trying everything under the sun to feel better. But the only way to win this unwinnable game, and I'll say it again, is to not play. All right. I love you guys. Stop going where your thoughts want to take you. Yes, they're going to be there. Yes, they're going to be uncomfortable. Yes, they're going to make you feel things. But by following them where they want to take you, and instead of coming in and saying, no, I'm not doing it, and just letting it hang out, by following them where they want to take you, you are adding to the disorder. You are empowering the disorder. You are giving the disorder more fuel, and you can't win this game. You can't win this game. If it wasn't this thought, it would just be another thought and another thought, and you can't win. You can't win. You have to come to the firm realization that no matter what shows up in your mind, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, you can be there if you want to be there. I'm not going. And if you have to remind yourself of that a lot, that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just be casual about it. And it's there. I'm not going there, right? And go back to what you were doing. Eventually the thought will go away, right? Because you've decided, I'm not going to follow it. I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. Eventually it'll go away. It may hang out for a little bit. It may keep trying. It may keep knocking. That's fine. Anytime you're tempted to get involved with it and worry about it, just say, no, you can be there, whatever, right? And just go back to what you were doing. Until you stop your rumination, and I'm just going to be blunt. You guys know I'm blunt. Until you stop your rumination, you're not going to get better. And that's why you've been here for so long and you're not getting better, right? Because you're not stopping your rumination. You're still ruminating every single day, okay? And that's not me trying to throw you under the bus. That is me being completely transparent with you so that you can get better, so that you have a shot at getting better, right? I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I want you to get better. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want a more one-on-one connection with me, if you want some personal coaching where we can talk about your thoughts, your feelings, and apply this non-rumination to you and really help you get underneath that, reach out to me on any of the Vacate Fear social media. I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got Twitter, Discord channel. Reach out to me there. I'll get up with you. I offer both calling and messaging, whatever you're most comfortable with. But anyway, I think that's it for this one, guys. Comment down below. Let me know how you've been. I've missed you, and I'll see you very soon. Till next time, as always, I'll give you a snap. Stay awesome.